Hello and welcome back to the channel. For decades, the search for water on Mars had been a holy grail of planetary science. Not just water locked up into ice, but liquid water, the ingredient essential for life as we know it. So today we are going to dive deep into one of the most exciting and the most challenging mysteries of the red planet. In 2018, a scientific discovery shook the space community when using Mars's radar instrument aboard the European Space Agency's Mars Express orbiter, a team of scientists detected an incredible bright, unusual, strong radar reflection. So this signal came from one of the mile or 1,500 meter beneath the thick layered ice cap on Mars' south pole. The feature was roughly 20 kilometers wide, and that makes the ice so reflective to the radar. Simple, pure water. So the sheer strength of signal suggested a stable body of liquid water and a massive subglacial lake similar to those found beneath the ice sheet of Antarctica here on Earth. So this was monumental. And but the giant and liquid lake on a modern Mars, that is amazing, right? So it didn't make a sense for early scientific discoveries. The temperature at the base of the ice cap was far too cold. So to explain it, scientists had to hypothesize that the water was extremely salty and laced with the mineral salt that lowered into the freezing point and well below zero, and keeping it liquid. So this single bright reflection became known as the high reflectivity zone, and it fueled the years of debate, speculations about microbial life, and further mission which was planning keeping this aspect in consideration. For 5 years, this was a prevailing and thrilled narrative, and there might be a massive lake hiding beneath the Martian ice. So now enter the hero of our story, NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, or MRO, which was launched back in 2005. MRO is a veteran, workhorse, and a technological marvel. So it carries a suite of instructions and instrument, including a second high-frequency radar called SHARAD, the shallow radar. So SHARAD was designed to look closer to the surface, typically a mile or two down, to map the buried ice resources for future astronaut. So, but it had a problem. The signal from the SHARAD antenna, which is located on the back of spacecraft, was often blocked or interfered by the very body of the orbital itself. So for years, the MRO team knew the potential of SHARAD was being limited, and they would occasionally roll the spacecraft by a small angle around 28 degrees to improve the signal. But the deepest and the most mysterious region, like the high reflectivity zone, remained out of reach. Then the radical idea emerged from the engineering team at JPL and Lockheed Martin, where it rolled it further. What if we command the spacecraft to execute a huge dramatic maneuver, maybe at 120-degree roll, flipping it almost completely upside down as it flew over the target area? So this maneuver actually was very large to roll and was risky and required a careful planning to ensure the solar panel and the communication antennas remained safe. but the payoff was enormous. So simultaneously, simulation actually showed that the drastic role could boost the power of SHARAD and signals by a factor of 10 times or more. So it was likely finalized the pointing of high-powered flashlights directed to the floor of the deep dark ocean. So after years of work, the MRO team executed the first successful very large role observation. For the first time, SHARAD was able to peer right down to the base of exact area where the Mars and express the Mars's instrument saw the famously bright spot. So the new data was revelation, and it was quite amazing, where the team had been nothing for 20 years. They now actually are able to see the faint clear base of reflection, the long hidden boundary beneath the 1,500 meters of ice. So this technical breakthrough proved that even the seasoned veteran spacecraft can be taught revolutionary new tricks and ideas. So, but there is where the story takes a surprising turn, and the biggest Mars mystery is challenged. When the scientists analyzed the new SHARAD data from the very large roll, they found the reflection was there, yes, but it was faint. So critically, it was far weaker than the signal Mars had detected. So why does this brightness matter? So you have to remember that liquid water acts like a mirror, producing incredible bright, intense radar reflection. So this faint echo seen by SHARAD simply did not align with the properties of large stable body of salty liquid water. So if there was a lake, the signal should have been blindly bright on the both instrument. So if there was a lake, what if there's a lake, or if there's not a lake, what it is, we have to really, the scientists have to really find out. And this research team led by SHARAD scientist Margon and Putzid modeled the various possibilities, and their conclusion pointed towards a much drier but still fascinating explanation, and the feather is most likely to layer a dusty rock and sediment. So this kind of feature scientists actually worked upon. Then specifically, it may be patch of ancient, unusual smooth rock, perhaps a buried lava flow that is simply much flatter than the rough and maybe having a heavily terrain which is surrounded by this crater, by this kind of reflection that is being created. So rough ground actually tended to scattered radar and signals in many directions. So weakening the return of the image, So a very smooth patch, however, act like a mirror, as we have discussed, causing a specular reflection, sending much stronger echo straight back. So this small smooth patch is what they believe Mars expresses, and the Mars's instrument actually picked up in 2018. This isn't a water reflectivity, so this is what the conclusion were made. And it was a terrain's smoothness, and that created the illusion of bright liquid body. So this was the data does not solve the mystery entirely. It raises new questions, and it is about Mars's what it actually detected, and the Mars's saw as such a bright signal, and why SHARAD saw such a faint one. So there was a confusion in that. But the weight of evidence is shifting the narratives. The hidden Martian lake is likely not a lake at all. It is hidden ancient landscape. So if this brightest mystery is solved, or at least the fundamental change what it is really, that will create a breakthrough here. And it is very large role maneuver itself when we talk about how to get into this clarity. So the engineer and scientists didn't even investigate an old mystery. They unlock a powerful new capability of MRO spacecraft that is already being put to use. The ability of SHARAD is penetrating deep and clearer is now applied to the another region of the Mars, which is very kind of creative, and at the same time it is also raising questions. So on the high priority target is the Medusae Foci formation near Mars equator, a kind of a deposit that has been historically returned very little radar signal. So the very large roll technique can penetrate this force and this kind of area, and revealing vast deeply buried ice deposits there. So that is again a kind of a new challenge and discovery. The implication of human exploration are actually massive. So why the equator? Because equator is warmer and receive more sunlight, making it ideal location to land and establish a permanent human base. So water ice at equator means a resource and that is available for drinking, growing food, and even critical for producing rocket propellant for the return trip to Earth. And it would be a game changer. So MRO breakthrough is perfect example of what can be accomplished by innovating with legacy hardware. So after nearly 2 decades in space, the spacecraft is still rewriting the textbook and on the Mars interior, and it is actually giving way to our first steps on the red planet. So this new chapter in the Martian ice mystery reminds us that the quest for truth in science is a process for the progress, and it is eventually result into more efficient understanding of the red planet. The theory rise and fall, but every piece of new high quality data brings us closer to genuine understanding of our neighbor. The ice sheet may not be hiding a giant lake, but it is hiding an ancient secret that Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, with its new bold effort maneuver, it is finally starting to reveal. So we are watching an old spacecraft making new history, new discovery. So we look forward what else we will be getting by this watching what this maneuver which is being handled by scientists. So we are waiting. I hope you will also be interested in finding out this. So we'll be meeting again maybe with the new discovery which will be done by the Reconnaissance Orbiter. But till then, have a nice time ahead. See you again in the next one. Take care.